Is that good? Is it delicious? Hey everyone, hope they had a happy holidays. I think we all definitely needed to find some ways to bring cheer into our lives towards the end of this year. I know one of the things I always used to look forward to when I would be able to go visit home for the holidays. My friend Eric's mother, anytime I'd visit home during school or even now throughout the years, she'd always make me up a batch of what we call bolster bars, which is peanut butter, Rice Krispie treats that have a layer of chocolate on the top, and she'd always send me home with those, and then I'd enjoy those for quite a while. But since I don't get to go home this year to visit, I sent her a little message and just asked if she could tell me how she made them. So that's what I did. Last night I made up what we're going to call the control version, the standard Rice Krispie treats with some Jiffy peanut butter and Caro syrup and white sugar. But since a lot of people these days do a lot of their shopping primarily only at Trader Joe's, and you're not going to be able to find these name brand items there, I thought for the video purposes I'd see if I could make a variation of this treat using items found at Trader Joe's. So we're going to try it with some almond butter. I'm going to try using agave syrup instead of corn syrup. Since the agave is sort of a darker sweetener, I thought maybe brown sugar would be good instead of white refined sugar. And then some of these extra dark Trader Joe's chocolate chips. And we're going to see how that comes out. Hopefully it tastes just as good as the original, because these are my favorite treat. So good. Okay, so to get started, we're going to head over to the stove. We're going to start combining the ingredients. I'm going to do a little split screen with the original recipe and the Trader Joe's recipe, but it's basically the same thing. You're just replacing one of the ingredients with the other. Oh, hey, by the way, before we get started, remember in last week's cheese ball video when I took the end of those green onions and I put them in a glass of water and I told you we'd be able to grow some new green onions from that? Well, look at this. Hey? Not bad, huh? They're already starting to sprout now. I'm just going to give them a little bit more, and then we can put these in some soil and start growing some onions. Alright, so we start out with half a cup of the agave, or a half a cup of the corn syrup. Next, we add in a half a cup of brown sugar, or a half a cup of sugar. Now we mix this up until they're kind of melted together. And then once that happens, we're going to add in our peanut butter. Okay, now comes the time to add in 1 cup of peanut butter or almond butter. Alright, now we're just going to mix that in until this is all mixed into one consistent sort of peanut buttery sugary paste. Now that that's all mixed nicely. If you're wondering why I was making this in such a big pot, it's because then we got to mix in our 3 cups of Rice Krispie treats or organic Crisp Rice cereal. Okay. Now we're going to make sure we're just going to mix this until all the Krispie treats are covered. These Trader Joe's ones have a really nice consistency. I like the texture of them. They're really puffy. It's going to make for an interesting textured bar, I think. Alright, now once that's all mixed together, we're going to transfer it into a baking pan. Just want to press this down flat with the pan. Once you got that all flat into a nice flat layer, Alright, now comes the good part where we add in our dark chocolate. And we spread these chocolate chips out evenly over the surface. Just get a good spread all over. Just make sure there's roughly an even distribution so you'll get an even melt. We'll spread it after, but this will just help once it's melted. Now we're going to just pop this under the broiler for just about a minute, just until the chocolate melts. And then once it's starting to melt, we're going to spread it out over the top. Alright, we just let that go for a quick minute. Now that chocolate is all melted, you just spread it out evenly on the top. Nice even coat. Spread that chocolate around on the top. Make a nice little swirly pattern. Okay, well, now that we have a nice even layer of chocolate on the top, we're gonna put this in the fridge, maybe for about 2 hours to let this chocolate cool down and harden up. Then we can take it back out and take it out of here and cut it into some nice little treats. Alright, so we'll check back in on that later.
A little later.
Alright, so it's been about an hour and a half. We're gonna pull these out of the fridge and hopefully we have some delicious treats to try. Yeah. Look at that. Okay, now we're just gonna pry this out of here and cut it up. There we go. Whew. Phew. Okay, let's cut these guys up. So that's the Trader Joe's version, and that is the Rice Krispie version. Obviously the Trader Joe's one's a little bit darker from the dark brown sugar and the agave and the almond butter as opposed to the peanut butter and corn syrup. So let's see how these compare. This time I'm gonna go lighter. I'm gonna try the peanut butter Rice Krispie. That's still really good. It's so good. The peanut butter Rice Krispie one has just got a more airiness to it. I don't know. They're both delicious. Definitely chewier. They're both winners. So if you're shopping at your regular name brand grocery store, I obviously highly recommend making the Rice Krispies and peanut butter. If you like that sort of dark, molassesy flavor and a nice, really chewy bar, I recommend going to Trader Joe's and getting these ingredients and making this one too. Maybe try making them both and see which one you like better. Man, these came out so good. So I'd be curious to hear your guys' thoughts on what you thought of this Trader Joe's alternate universe version of a recipe. If you guys know of any other sort of classic recipes that are made with name brand products and you'd like me to experiment trying and making an alternate version of that with items from Trader Joe's. I think this could be an interesting series. Let me hear your thoughts on that, and if you have any ideas of some things I could try, drop me a message. All right, again, I hope everybody had a happy holidays and is looking forward to a good new year. Let's hope 2021 has a lot of positive things in store for us. I'm hoping to just keep making these videos for you guys, and I hope that you're watching, I hope you're liking, and I hope you're subscribing. Please leave me some comments. I'd love to hear feedback, or if you guys have any ideas for things you'd like me to try, I'm open to that. I'm going to be putting out an awesome New Year's playlist. Going back to this nostalgic feeling I've been having since turning 40, I'm putting out this 80s and 90s dance playlist. It's going to be called It Takes Two to Bust a Move, if you can get the hints on what some songs are going to be in on there. And Happy New Year, everyone. Let's party. It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make a man out of sight. Oh!
I wanna rock right now. I'm Mike Crane and I'm here to get down. Ooh.